What up? We're back. We are gonna go to the National Football League and we are going to Duval. And we're gonna visit the Jacksonville Jaguars and Mr. Trevor Lawrence, who are currently sitting at 0-4. It's been a tough season so far. They have yet to win a game, and they fell to the Texans this week 24-20 on a last second touchdown by CJ Stroud with 18 seconds left. What is your forecast on the Jaguars' future? We know they ain't making the playoffs.
No, Adam, but this is exactly what you and I have been talking about during the off season. This is what happens when you pay for mediocrity. And this is what happens when you get ahead of yourselves and you say, oh, let me pay him now just in case he gets more expensive. My opinion is let's wait to see if he gets any better. The last time that I saw Trevor Lawrence be a great quarterback was when they went to the AFC Championship game against Patrick Mahomes and they lost a couple of seasons ago. Okay, he has not looked right, Adam, ever since. He has been a mediocre quarterback at best, pedestrian. I'm going to say pedestrian with that 18 out of 33 for 169 and two scores. When you're paying somebody out on 55 million big ones, he needs to be around 300 yards every single game. 300 yards, two scores is fine. I'm not even going to blame it on the running game. They had today 140 yards rushing that Jacksonville Jaguars. But him, with his little 116 yard 169 yards throwing, is very mediocre, Adam. You're not going to be anybody with 169 throwing, Adam. You're not going to be, he be selling passes, overthrowing people. He has not looked right. He doesn't look comfortable. I don't know what the hell has going on with him. But dude, the Jaguars are expecting more of you than 169 yards throwing. They're expecting more for 55 million. For 55 million, 0-4, you're not making the playoffs. You're not making the playoffs. This would have been a better picture for the Jaguars. Not pay him. Wait and see what he does this season, and you got a pretty good crop of quarterbacks coming up in next year's draft. And you could probably have traded Trevor Lawrence to another team. Maybe he gets a fresh start, new surroundings. Maybe he becomes better. But I think the Jaguars right now and the owner got shafted by this man because he does not look good at all this season, man. What do you say, Adam?
He's just not playing winning football. I'll say he's got one interception on the year, so he's not necessarily hurting his team. He's getting beat up back there, and his completion percentage is not very good. He does have weapons. He does have some guys out there.
I'm sorry.
Even though he's been without his starting tight end, Evan Ingram, for most of the season, he has one catch for 5 yards because he left the game due to a hamstring injury against the Dolphins week 1. But he's a former number 1 overall pick. And the expectation when you are a number 1 overall pick is that you have something. Not everybody else around you. You have something that is a difference maker. You have something in you that when the games are close, you know how to flip that switch and you know how to turn losses into wins. It's what CJ Stroud did against him today. If he needs a reference, look across the sideline. What CJ Stroud did, winning the game with 18 seconds left on a touchdown pass, that's what everybody is expecting of you, Trevor Lawrence. We don't expect you to be the second coming of Jesus Christ, even though you kind of look like him with from all the pictures I see. You kind of look like him just a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's not what people are asking you to do. When the game is on the line, do you show yourself to be a number one overall pick? And the answer to that is no. You talked about it just now. 169 yards throughout the entire game. That's a half for most good quarterbacks. That's one half. That's a halftime stat line for most good quarterbacks in the National Football League. You can't leave the game with 169 yards of passing. And again, I will say this: the Jaguars are not that far from being a winning team. Now, are they bottom half when it comes to defense and all that? Yes. But when you look at their games, they have lost 3 out of the 4 games by a total combined of 12 points, meaning an average of 4 points per loss.
Right.
The first game, they lost to a Tua-led Miami Dolphins team. We understand that. And they lost by 3 points, 20-17. Then they actually they went to Cleveland, I'm sorry, and Cleveland beat them by 4 points. 5 points, 18-13. And then they went to Buffalo, or they went up against Buffalo. And of course, we understand what's going to happen with Buffalo. That was to be expected. You know, you're going against an outlier called Josh Allen. So we don't expect you to necessarily stay in that game, Josh.
But the thing, Adam, it wasn't even close, Adam. It wasn't even close.
47-10, something like that.
Can you play up to at least be close? Be close. I don't care if you lose, but be close.
Again, I understand with Josh Allen because he is the outlier when it comes to this league. He is that guy. The Lamar Jacksons, the Patrick Mahomes, I get that. But when you're going up against Tua, I expect you to be competitive. Tua wasn't the number 1 overall pick in his draft. You were the number 1 pick in yours. You know what I mean? You're going up against Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson hasn't been Deshaun Watson since before the pandemic. We all had COVID. We didn't even have COVID yet. So at this point, we're all looking to Trevor Lawrence and saying, at what point are you going to show up and show out and show us that you warranted that number 1 overall pick? Because right now, it's literally pedestrian numbers, and it's costing them games. They're right there in these games. And what we're asking from Trevor Lawrence is, can you be that quarterback? Can you be that number 1 pick that we all thought was the difference maker between wins and losses? And he's yet to show that.
The only good thing that saves them is that they play in a very weak division. But I think Houston got it now. I think Houston got it, but it's still a little weak division. But they're not making the playoffs out of with this loaded AFC teams. They're not
and Doug Peterson, the quarterback whisperer, you know, your job is on the line at this point. You don't look good. They've converted 11 out of 44 third down attempts, Manny. That's 25%, Papo.
And you know what they say,
out of 44.
That's the money down. That's the money down. If you don't convert those, you don't win.
You're not going to win. You're 0-4 for a reason, and it's because you're losing on third down. 11 for 44? You can't win like that. You're getting off the field.
Very, very bad. That's very bad.
No, their punter's working overtime, Papo. Their punter is working overtime. He's the only one on the Jacksonville Jaguars who's earning his check.
It's unfortunate, and I really feel bad for Jaguars fans because, man, when you draft somebody that high, you expect better from that person. You expect special.
Of course.
And yes, Josh Allen is the alpha. He is very high in that mountain. But remember, Adam, these are the quarterbacks that you have to be in the AFC to win the Super Bowl, right?
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't go, I need Trevor Lawrence for $55 million a year to go toe-to-toe with Josh Allen. Oh, you're going to put up 30? I'm going to match you. I'm going to match you with my fucking players. I'm going to match you too. But when I saw that Monday night game, I had to turn it off. I was like, you know what? I'm going to switch the channel because I am not seeing this development. It's a stall. The development stalled. It just stalled. Now, have you seen how that kid looks from the Commanders? He looks
Ooh,
pretty good out there. And we are going to talk about
Jaden
him this
Daniels.
season. Jaden Daniels, we will talk about you this upcoming fall, sir, because you look very good. You look good
You
compared to this
belong,
fool.
friend. You belong. You
You
belong.
belong. This dude got paid. He was like, I shafted everybody right now. I shafted everybody
I got
in
away
my
with
organization.
it. He's like, I got away with it.
I'm
All
done with
right.
this for now.
All right. So we're gonna leave Duval and we'll leave Trevor Lawrence right where he is. Don't go anywhere. This is Club 50 Sports. We got more sports talk coming your way. Stay right where you are. We'll be right back.